Hello.
Hello.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah. How about,
Okay, perfect.
I'm
Perfect.
so excited. Thank you for giving me that extra 10 minutes that saved me. So
Yeah,
all you need is 10 minutes to get it together, right?
I'm telling you, 10 minutes is everything.
Okay, so we're recording. This is it.
Yes, it is exciting. I am so thankful that you agreed to join me for this interview. So, I'll go ahead and get us started. So, just for everyone who will see this video after we get through recording here, I am Cosette Dunn with Cosette Contemplates, and I'm so excited to be able to interview Mr. Jimmy Urciuoli with Green Steps of Chattanooga. Thank you for coming on, Jimmy.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, you're so welcome. So, I just kind of want to talk a little bit about how I discovered you and what you're doing, if that's okay.
Sure, go ahead.
Yeah, okay. So, like, one of my favorite places in all of Chattanooga is Renaissance Park. I spend a lot of time down there, and it is just this gorgeous, gorgeous place right in the city. But you almost feel like, at certain times, like you're in a swamp or some kind of a really beautiful natural area, because they have a project going down there where they're kind of restoring native habitat, native species that have been decimated. And so it's just this gorgeous area. And so I like to walk by the river down through there. And so while I was down there, I see this really cool station set up that you masterminded, and it gave me the opportunity to stop by that station. You can get a bag, and while you're walking, while you're enjoying that beautiful area, you can pick up trash, you can pick up litter. And I just thought that was so cool because you really kind of meet people like literally where they're at and enable them to make that space and keep that space beautiful and healthy.
Awesome. That's so cool that that's how you discovered us. A lot of people discover us that way because we have over 60 of those stations all across the Southeast Tennessee region. So that is at places like Renaissance Park, hiking trailheads, and even just in people's private yards. We've had people who have reached out to us and asked for stations to be installed in their own yard to keep their neighborhood clean. So we have a really diverse offering in terms of where those stations are located. Um, and just while we're on that topic, if you ever wanted to get a map of where those stations were, Green Steps Chat with two T's .com. And if you click on one of the links where it'll take you right to a map, and it shows you a map of all the stations in our region. So it's a
Awesome.
really cool component. So I'm glad that that drew you in.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because I was on Facebook, so when I came across it, I posted, I checked in at Renaissance Park, and then I made some pictures of what was going on, and then a mutual friend of ours, Maggie White,
Yes,
yeah, so she saw that I had posted that, and I think she maybe tagged you in it,
she
just
did. Yep, that's
yeah, just
exactly
to
what
kind of
happened.
say, yeah, like look, people see what you're doing here. And that's so cool. I did not realize that you had that many stations and that you've got a map. That's really great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah,
And the great thing is, one component of the stations. I know that you saw previously and had shared in a post about the point system, where people can go in and actually take a picture of the trash that they picked up and log points online for it. So one small bag, it's the 5-gallon bag of trash.
yeah.
One of those equates $1 worth of Amazon gift card. We have shut that program down for the time being because our funding got so stretched due to COVID. And so we had to stretch our funding from what was going to be June of 2020 all the way until November of 2020. So that's part of the program that got cut But we've updated the signage on all of those to indicate that that is currently unavailable. But the good thing is that you don't have to get rewarded for picking up trash, because the best reward is just that satisfaction of tackling environmental problems right there in your own backyard and taking accountability for the amazing city that we live in.
Yes, absolutely. That is the reward in and of itself. I agree. So when did you start Green Steps? Like, what was there a defining moment that made you say, you know what, here's my passion, here's my idea, and here's what I'm going to do? And when did you start?
I must give credit where credit is due. I am not the original founder and creator of Green Steps.
Okay.
So Green Steps was founded by Elisa Grzinko is her name.
Okay.
She moved here from Colorado. And in Colorado, their natural areas don't have quite the inundation of litter that we have here. And so she was astounded at coming into some of our natural areas, some of our creeks and climbing spots, and just seeing so much litter. Like, she couldn't understand why that was even a thing. So she decided to, very grassroots style, start the Green Steps program. And really one of the biggest projects where that started was the Sup Creek Road corridor. So it's one of the most popular swimming areas in town, and it's also one of the most trash swimming areas in town. So that was kind of the place where it all began in her mind, of we can rally some people together and let's just see what happens. And people really turned out. They, I believe, had over 50 people come out for that cleanup. So the community really embraced the concept, and just as it kind of went along, it ended up that the Southeast Tennessee Resource Conservation and Development Council adopted the program to make it a nonprofit. Wow. So they adopted that program and received a grant from the Tennessee Department of Transportation. So that's who funds us currently. And so we kind of are housed under this umbrella organization, Southeast Tennessee RC&D. So I'll just say RC&D for short, if you ever hear me reference that. Okay. So then it really became an official thing. So it kind of just started as an idea of let's gather some people together for a litter cleanup, to where we are now with 60 plus stations across the region. We've hosted well over 40 cleanups. And so again, I was not the founder. I joined the team in March of 2019. And I joined the team as a volunteer outreach coordinator, working very part-time. And then Elisa decided that she wanted to take a little bit of a break from managing the nonprofit and offered the position to me as executive director. And that was exactly a year ago this past weekend. And I gladly accepted the offer. It was an opportunity of a lifetime. You know, my background is in environmental science, policy, and planning. I studied at UTC. I had been at that point 2 years out of school with no job in my field. I was cleaning houses. So this was truly a gift, and a gift in my passion. And so I accepted the position without hesitation. So I've been in the director position ever since, and will continue to do so. So that's where I came into play with things. So that's a little bit of the story. So just a big shout out to Elisa for making this a reality and setting up all of the amazing program dynamics that we have.
Yes, that is awesome. And I love how like, not only does it benefit our environment, not only does it keep, you know, our parks and our yards and stuff like that beautiful, but it really kind of brings you together with other people of like minds. And do you feel like maybe that kind of adds some synergy? And I mean, it really helps, right? Because you get more hands on board, you know, taking care of Mother Earth.
I'll tell you what, having a cleanup where you've got 50 people to 100 people showing up ready to pick up trash on their day off,
yeah,
that is an amazing feeling. and the conversations that I've had with people, just connecting and learning that we have more things in common because we both have this just amazing relationship with the earth. And I've made some amazing lifelong friends through working in this program. And when you step back after 2-3 hours of picking up trash and you step back and look at what you've accomplished, that feeling is just absolutely amazing, and you take it away with you for days. You feel that radiance in you. You feel, first off, you check off a lot of boxes. You get your time outside, right? So you get nature time. Secondly, you're giving back to nature. So often we interact with nature in a way that's taking, and so we get to give back. You get the component of being with people and creating community. And you get a workout, let me tell you.
Yes.
After you've rolled 20 tires up a hill, you don't think you're going to need to go to a gym.
Yeah.
So you check all these boxes, and I just think it's a genius idea. Pick up trash for all the reasons. And in these, I always take time to make them an educational moment. Well, why are we doing this? Why is it important that we get trash off the ground? Why is it important that we recycle? Why is it important that we practice sustainable living techniques in our own home? Even if we are the ones that aren't littering, why is it important that we get out there on the ground and take accountability? And the answer is because the earth belongs to us all. It's all our planet. Whether we were the ones responsible for the action of littering itself or not, it's still our duty to be stewards.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And I really like that you do education with it too, because it does have, throwing down a bottle cap, people I don't think really stop to think the ripple effect and the huge repercussions that can come from that.
People don't understand, and I have a little funny story. One time I was taking a coworker home. This was years ago, long before Green Steps was even conceptualized. And I was taking a coworker home, and he had a mint. We worked at a restaurant, and he had grabbed a mint from the restaurant, and it was just a little tiny wrapper. He put the mint in his mouth, he rolled the window down, and he just tossed it out. And I stopped the car. I pulled over. I said, "You did not just litter in my car, did you?" His face just turned beet red, and he was like, what do you mean? And he was like, it was just a tiny little piece. I was like, well, what if everyone threw a little tiny piece of plastic out into the street?
Yeah.
And I said, here's what we're going to do. You're not going to find that piece, but you're going to find a piece of trash, and you're going to pick it up. And I had him pick it up off the side of the road. He just found some arbitrary piece of trash, and I said, okay, you're even now. But don't do that again, especially around me. And he told me that next day, he said, hey, I thought all night long about that. Because then I went into the impact of litter. Like, I really gave him a little bit of a lecture. And I don't think that man has ever littered again.
Yeah. I'd say not. I'd say he changed his ways after that.
So, we've got to be vigilantes. We got to be out there, and there's a right way to do it. We don't want to be aggressive toward people. But we take the time to educate.
Yeah.
And we try to reach everybody that we can.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, being just really leading with education and reaching people, because ultimately, we don't want to be aggressive with people. We want that. It would be so great if we could all have like that basic foundation, understanding the repercussions of a gum wrapper or a bottle cap. So I was talking about Renaissance Park, and for anybody who's been down there, they know it is so beautiful. And so there's this portion of Renaissance Park. We know that it goes down by the Tennessee River, and so as I walk, there's like this concrete, pathway. It's got piers that overlook the river. You can go out there, see the Southern Belle, and you just really get a chance to take in the beauty of the Tennessee River and all the really cool things that the city of Chattanooga is doing down there. But then there's just like this little pocket. It's like this little wooded pocket, and it's a dirt trail. And
Hmm.
so I followed that out. And of course, when you're back through there, you can see the water, you know. And I was astounded at the amount of trash that was back there. It blew my mind because you go from this beautiful cityscape, this beautiful um, place on the Tennessee River, and then like you're immediately transported to. It looks like people just use the water to dump all their garbage in or something, and that just really made me feel gutted. And also, I have come to understand, and correct me if I'm wrong, but the Tennessee River, our river, is one of the most ecologically diverse rivers in the whole world.
Interesting. I did not know that part.
Yes. Yeah, I was researching that because there's some signs down there at the park where you can, check out websites and whatnot. But I came across that piece of information, and I just think, what a travesty it is for us to have such an amazing resource and just trash it.
Well, here are a couple stats about the Tennessee River. Out of all of the rivers studied in the world to date, the Tennessee River records the highest level of microplastics of any studied river in the world. So, what a juxtaposition to being the most ecologically diverse river in the world. And
Yeah.
for those of you that don't know about microplastic, let's say we take a hard plastic, for example. That hard plastic gets weathered and it starts to seemingly break down. But as we know, plastic takes an incredibly long time in the right set of conditions to really fully break down. It will happen in none of our lifetimes.
Yeah.
And so what ends up happening is we end up with these little microscopic pieces of plastic. And those pieces of plastic enter the bodies of fish and other wildlife all within the river and any animals that are interacting with the river. And guess what animal interacts so intimately with the river? It's humans. And we do so in a recreational way, but also by necessity. Our drinking water in this entire region comes from the Tennessee River. And those microplastics are incredibly difficult to filter out. So it's not only affecting the wildlife that surrounds us, it affects us very directly. And so, you toss a water bottle out a window on a side street, and then that water bottle tumbles into a little tributary, and then that tributary takes it into the Tennessee River. And then it might get stuck somewhere along the way, or it might inevitably reach the Ohio River, then it reaches the Mississippi River, that then reaches the Gulf of Mexico, and then it's really just this limitless ocean. And these gyres stir the trash up, and it ends up, a piece of trash that you throw away here could end up anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
So our water bodies, if we can prevent the trash from getting into our water bodies, that is absolutely crucial. And it really is disheartening when you see such an amazing, beautiful river inundated with litter.
Yeah.
So, we're taking it one step at a time and just trying to make strides toward a better future. Not just for us right here in our backyard, but for the whole world.
Yeah, absolutely. That's just really mind blowing to think that I can be down at Renaissance Park cleaning up some trash. People in Ohio can benefit from that. People who live near the ocean can benefit from that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So it's all the more reason for our collective power.
Yes. Yeah.
Um, I want to go back to something really quick. We were talking about the education piece. This is the way that I describe our program in short to people. We have three components. We have our litter cleanups that happen monthly or sometimes more frequently. We have our stations that I went into detail about, and then the education component in which we will actually go into schools and visit and give these tailored presentations that I created to kids from ages of preschool all the way up into college. So we've got a presentation that's adapted for all these various grade levels. And we show some really hard footage about ocean trash and the way that it has consequences for aquatic life and birds and for our own bodies. And so that education piece, I mean, I've literally seen kids tear up from the material that we show, but they're ready to go out in the world and be a steward. They're ready. So I think that just all the more reason, just to reiterate my point earlier, education is everything. If we have education, people wouldn't litter in the first place.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree. That what you just said about showing it to the kids in school. I remember when I was like in fifth grade, I remember going to, I don't know if it was like an Earth Day fair. It was some sort of an environmental fair. And I will never forget the impact that that made on me, um, from that point on until now. Things like water conservation even has been super important to me because knowledge is power, right? And so you're giving such a great foundation, because if the change can start at, really young ages, um, then the impact potential can just be huge.
Sounds like that day changed your life.
It did. It really did. Yeah, it really, it gave me a respect for the sacredness of our planet and our water and, you know, resources that we all need, and how we need to really focus on conserving it, not abusing it. Um, yeah. So yeah, that was a powerful day. It totally made me think of that. Speaking of collective power, I'm just curious, are you connected with any other organizations or folks like yourself, maybe, in other states, where you're, just kind of connecting and doing the work together? And
Well, we definitely have partnered with so many local organizations. We just did with Green Spaces Chattanooga. Like, we
okay.
often get confused. We are Green Steps, Green Spaces. They We had an Eco Field Day event that was planned for April, an in-person event that got canceled due to COVID, but we picked up the pieces and managed to pull off a virtual version where we challenge people to pick up litter just on their own street, take some pictures and send it to us, and we gave them a t-shirt and a couple other little sustainable prizes like reusable metal straws. So that was an example of one collaboration. Southeast Climber Coalition, we've collaborated with them on numerous cleanup events. Ivy Academy, the Macaulay School, and I could go on and on with all these organizations that we've collaborated with. And we are so lucky that our most recent donor uh, is actually in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Oh,
So he's donating all the way from Philadelphia because he's so invested in this mission and what we're doing here. And now, in the future years, with his help, we'll be moving into expanding this program more to a statewide level, and then perhaps even letting that grow to a national level. It's hard to say where we're working on one day at a time,
yeah.
but there are people elsewhere that are connecting with these same ideas, and there are similar programs to Green Steps all across the country, and really all across the world as well.
Yeah.
Um, so it's happening. It's happening all over the place.
Very encouraging.
Yeah.
So, have you heard? Here, this is another person that I really, really hope to have on Kozak Contemplates. Have you heard of Cash Daniels, the conservation kid?
I don't think so.
Okay, so definitely check him out. He is local. He is an amazing young man. I think he's actually been maybe on the Ellen show. Um,
Oh,
but he hosts cleanups as well. He does a lot out towards like Harrison Bay. I've been on some cleanups with him and his family out there. Some cleanups over off of 153 Chickamauga Dam area. So maybe I could connect to you guys, because you both have this incredible passion and very, very similar, um, impacts that you're making. So
Heck yeah, awesome.
yeah, I would love
Very
to.
cool.
That would be great.
Cool, yeah, I love
I
to hear that.
know. I'm excited about it. Let me see. I've got some other questions. My cat. So if you see my screen shaking, my cat wants so bad to be in the video.
Your cat wants to be a
My
star.
cat, she does. So she may make her debut. I don't know.
I've
We'll
got my doggy right here.
Oh, oh, I so love pictures of your dog.
She's the coolest, I'll tell you what.
You have the best Facebook stories.
Oh, thank
Yeah, you're like my top three favorite folks on Facebook. Look at your stories.
We have a good time. I'll tell you what. We really do.
I can tell. And so she's part wolf or she's full breed
She's
wolf?
not wolf at all, to be honest. I just tell her that she's a wolf. She's half husky, quarter chow, quarter Great Dane. She's a mix. She's a rescue girl. She's not a wolf, but you know.
That is hilarious because every time I look at your pictures, I'm like, man, that's so cool. He has a wolf, and this wolf is amazing. I literally
She
think I'm
thinks she's the wolf.
about your wolf.
We'll just, but Tala, she knows that deep down in there, she's a wolf.
She has the heart of a wolf, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I could go on and on about my dog. This could become a dog interview before long if we're not careful.
I know. I totally get that. I totally get that. And who knows, maybe we'll do a spot for her one day too. That would be great.
Appreciate it.
I would totally be down for that. Her adventures, because they look pretty great. Um, so what about what are some of your favorite hobbies on the Tennessee River and stuff like that? How do you utilize our local waterways for fun and recreation?
Well, I'm a creeker. No, I love the creeks. Nothing
Okay.
better to me on a hot summer day than just pull off at a creek and just walk upstream and get into a crystal clear, beautiful swimming hole.
Yeah.
I mean, I am in the water. If it's warm outside, even if it's just a little warm, I'm in the water.
Yeah.
I love to be on a kayak. I love to be on a paddleboard, a canoe. I love to be laying on a sunny rock.
Yeah.
I love to be laying under a shady tree, the grass. I mean, the sand. I love being outside. And I fully utilize everything that our region offers. I really feel like I'm getting the most out of my experience here in Chattanooga.
Yeah.
So I interact with our environment very deeply, which is all the more reason why I want it to be clean. Because, you know, some of these creeks that I check out, I get there, find the most beautiful spot, and there'll be just a heap of dirty diapers, needles, all kinds of stuff. And that really, to me, it highlights some of the bigger issues at play. You know, going back to education, it highlights the lack of that, because these are people that are recreating in these areas. This is their backyard, and they're recreating in these areas, but they're fouling their own nest, so to speak. So it really just doesn't. There's a cognitive dissonance at play there, and so, you know, when I get to a swimming hole like that, I don't care if I'm on the clock or not. I always keep some of our little compostable bags with me and pick up what I can. And that's something simple everybody could do. You can pick up trash anywhere, anytime. You don't need our station. You don't need my guidance. We all can pick up trash.
Yeah.
So you know, that's the best day to me. Going out to a swimming hole, laying on a sunny rock, picking up some trash while I'm there, and just feeling good about the whole thing.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you're so right. After I had done some cleanups with Cash Daniels and his family, from that point on, I kept one of those, those grabbers. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah, I keep one of those in the hatch of my car, and I'm always just I try to be mindful and prepared so that way I know when I'm out and I see the trash, then while I'm there, then just make a difference while I'm there.
Let me tell you, people like you make me so happy.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So inspiring.
I do what
And
I can.
and you know what? An education moment for some people is just seeing somebody picking up trash. Somebody walks by you and sees you with the grabber. That's a moment where people go, well, I could do that.
Yeah.
What's stopping me from doing that? So that's an educational moment in itself.
Yeah. For sure. That's very true. I didn't really even think about that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Very cool. So, what are kind of like going forward? What is your vision? What about your some short-term, long-term goals for Green Steps? What is on the horizon for Green Steps?
More education. That's really the number one. You know, the cleanups are great. I want to continue doing that at the steady pace that we have been. Here's the thing. With COVID, we've changed a lot. We went from having these huge cleanups to having to ratchet back and do smaller events. The education component, we have not been going in schools just because of the risk. So something that I would really like to offer to the public is a virtual option. We have the capacity to give our presentation in a virtual way, so working on really streamlining that for the immediate future. But then, inevitably we will make it out of this. This is not the end all be all. And when we get back to more normalcy, I would really love to just every day of the week be in a school somewhere giving our presentation. Because again, that's the most important piece of this all. I know I keep saying it, but I can't say it enough.
Yeah.
That's what I want to expand more than anything. I want to educate students all across the region. I want to reach all the students from rural to urban and in between.
Yeah.
So the education platform, that's my number one focus moving forward.
Okay.
Absolutely. To change the culture right here. That is the big piece.
Yeah.
So that's what's big for me right now.
Awesome. That is so good because no matter where you're at, rural, urban, you can make a profound difference.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And litter in our area, it doesn't discriminate. You can find litter in the most rural of areas and in the most densest urban areas as well.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can find it pretty much anywhere you look. And so we need to be reaching people, every demographic, of every income level, of every, of every neighborhood. We need to reach all the people. So that is my priority. That's what I'm going to really focus on investing my time in the
Awesome.
next year.
Well, hopefully I can help you do that.
Please do.
Yeah.
Share this. Let
Yeah.
the world know that I'm here and I'm ready to provide some information.
Yeah, definitely. So, on that note, how can people reach you and in what ways can we support you?
We have all the social media outlets. When I say all, we have Instagram and Facebook. So Instagram, Green Steps Chat. Facebook, Green Steps Chat. GreenStepsChat.com. My email is jimmy.greenstepschat@gmail.com. Any of those ways are good ways to reach me. If you shot us a message on any of our social media, we're quick at getting back. If you shot me a personal email, also quick at getting back. If you submit an inquiry on the website, that goes right to me as well. So those are ways that you can reach us to ask about ways that you'd want to help volunteer. Some of the things that we need help with, for instance, we have litter stations that some of which are accompanied by trash cans, in which we have one servicer to service all of the cans in our region. So it's really helpful. We have a couple of volunteers who have adopted cans, and they've committed to saying, "Hey, I'll every week I'll check this can, or every month, depending on the volume." Each is a little bit different in terms of how much usage they get. But just having someone to commit to servicing the can, that is a huge, huge help for us. And just even having someone who'd be willing to be on call in case there's a can overflow. Because one of the problems that we run into is that these cans sometimes get abused. The idea is you pick up litter. And the litter you pick up, you put in the can. But what ends up happening a lot of the times is that people come and dump their household garbage, or that people party all day long or have a big picnic, and all of their trash they're putting in our can. They didn't pick up the litter. They put it in the can, when really the best thing, and we reiterate this, is pack it in, pack it out. So we have some issues sometimes with that. That's probably our number one struggle that we have. So having volunteers that are willing to help with that is so huge. All you need is a truck. I mean, that's really it. And so in terms of monetary donations, you could go to our website, and we've got our PayPal link associated right there on our website. We gladly take donations, whether it's $5, $500, or beyond. We're more than happy to accept donations. Any amount counts.
Gotcha.
So those are the ways that you can get in touch: social media, our website. Donate if you feel compelled in your heart to do so. Yeah.
Awesome. That is so awesome. So I just encourage everyone who watches this video, get on board with this, because there's a place for you. There's so much that you can do, and it doesn't take like a whole lot of effort, doesn't take a whole lot of money. Just the little things will make a huge difference.
The number one thing, if you can't donate money, donate your time, because that's what really counts more than anything.
Yeah, for sure. Awesome. Well, Jimmy, I so appreciate your heart. I appreciate you coming on here. I'm so glad that we got to connect.
This is amazing. You want to talk about heart? I appreciate your heart, and
Yeah,
the fact that you wanted to highlight what we're doing with Green Steps. That means the absolute world to me.
awesome.
And you are a true ray of light. I'll tell you
Oh,
what.
thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Well, I hope that you will join me again. Hopefully, we can do another one.
Absolutely.
We'll
I'm
do
available. I've got lots to talk about.
good. Talk about your wolf a little bit next time.
Talk about anything you want to talk about.
Awesome. All right, my friend. Well, I appreciate you so much, and I look forward to connecting with you in the days ahead and getting more updates on Green Steps.
All right. Thank you, Cosette. Talk to you later.
Okay, thank you, Jimmy.
Bye.
Bye.